Brown, 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 brown. Hello, welcome, welcome everyone. My podcast. It's my podcast. Um, Hello everybody. It's me, Justy again. Now you're saying to yourself again, why is this like this, Justy? Why is the podcast looking like this? Well, the thing is that I'm doing an open podcast that anyone can come and join. So I have to be in the regular chat and I have to have a different recording setup and all that. So, you know, apologies for the weird looks and such. But yeah, I'm doing an open podcast. Maybe that will, I don't know, bring some people in or something like that. I don't know. I think it's always one of those things where it's if someone doesn't do it first, right? No one else is gonna do it. You know, it's kind of like I don't know. I've noticed that with my streaming is that I'll be streaming and it's kind of like here 1 second. I gotta take my medicine. Anyways, it's kind of like the opposite effect. Um, when I'm streaming, I notice that if I don't have any viewers, right, which is pretty rare, if I don't have any, random people will join because I think they want to feel like they're special, or maybe they're finally giving the lone little boy some attention and stuff like that. But I think it's the opposite when it comes to like Discord calls. Like, at least for some other people, if I see someone alone in a call, I'll join, and be like, hey, whoa, 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 you know. But I think a lot of other people, if they don't see like at least 2 to 3 people in a call, they're like, nah, bro, I can't do a one-on-one. Maybe it's just particular people. I noticed that some people have told me that they're like, oh, yeah, I'll join a Discord call only for these if these people are in it. Yeah, I don't blame them. And they'll definitely be like the reverse as well. They'll be like, nah, I ain't joining if this person is in the call. But I think that's fine. It's a-okay. It's all right. But hopefully someone will show up, or else this will be awkward. This will be quite sad. Queue in for 2 hours later, where no one joined whatsoever. um, yeah, I thought I would do this. At least give the opportunity for people to join. Maybe chit chat about some good old stuff. I think that I don't know. There was a lot of very good Bibble Babble on my stream today. Which that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of explain the difference between Bibble Babble and just like absolute nonsense talk, because I feel like there's a big difference, and I don't think a lot of people understand that the difference is that you know small talk or nonsense talk is like you just don't want to talk about small shitty little things, right? You don't want to be like, oh, how's the weather? You want like an actual conversation with someone that's impactful and meaningful, right? Whereas Bibble Babble is different. Bibble Babble is literally just stuff that you need to have some kind of audio. I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I like to play video games sometimes. Uh, and while I'm doing that, or if I'm working on art or something, I like to have like a video on in the background. Like I have a second monitor, so I'll see it somewhat, but I'm not really paying attention to it. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, I gotta watch this. I just I got that zoomer issue where it's like, oh, I can't handle one form of entertainment. I need two or three. That's kind of how it is. It's just you can't really focus, I suppose. Or I guess you can. It's just like, man, this is nice, but I'd like a little something else to it as well. You know, it's like we're all here for a short amount of time. May as well play something in the background that I probably wasn't going to watch all by myself, but I can enjoy the audio and little glimpses of uh animation or whatever going on in the background. But that's basically what Bibble Babble is. It's a auditory kind of need for something. It's both an auditory need to hear as well as say something. Like if you have nothing meaningful to add to the conversation, right? Or to start a conversation, then it's very much like a placeholder. It's like, I'm not going to go ahead and bullshit you with like how's the weather or how's the wife or anything like that. But I will go ahead and hit you with a little bit of spaghetti, or oh yeah, that's that's a big boy. You know? It's like repeating phrases and words are the main essentials to Bibble Babble talk. You know? I don't know if anyone else has a word for it, but that's kind of what I've come up with. Yeah, I'm a creator. I'm an inventor of things. I invented the Bibble Babble. But no, I think it's like the key importance to it is that it's just a need to say something, but you don't really have anything to really meaningfully add. But you don't want to get into small talk where it's like, man, I hate this. No. You just want to say something or hear something. And it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's autism. You Bibble Babble, you're autistic, man. No, I think it's just like wanting to show that you're still alive. Maybe just being like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still active. I'm listening or something. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's a lot better than small talk. I've kind of looked that up, and I'm like, why can I not operate? Why can I not do this freaking small talk with people? And they said something about like, I don't know, something stupid. It was like, oh, you're emotionally intelligent. Let me go take a look at that. Emotionally intelligent. The ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions and positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges as well as diffuse conflict. So I guess it's just a big bunch of nothing. Let's see. Causes of lack. Why do I lack emotional intelligence? Difficulty in regulating emotions can be a symptom of a mental health problem. Oh. Oh man, that's crazy. Um, I think that's cool. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really what is it? I'm trying to think of the word for it or how to describe it. It's basically there's no real need for small talk. It's kind of I guess to put it simply, it is a nothing burger of a conversation. There's no juice to it. There's nothing. It's just like when you go to the grocery store and they're like, "Oh, hello, hello, hello there." You say hello to the cashier. They're like, "Oh, hi, how was your day?" Or how was your shopping? And you're like, "Oh, it was good." Did you find everything nicely? Oh yeah, it was. I found it all nicely. And then it's just silence. Just like, yeah, whatever. Great. Nothing, Dutchish. You know? It's like, I don't know. It's almost, I don't know. I've seen some examples where people are like from a different country, right? And if you walk by someone in America You say hi or hello, right? And then you just keep on walking, right? But in other countries, apparently, if you do that, like if you're like, oh, hi, you know, or you're like, hello, right? They'll expect you to like stop and talk about stuff. Like, I don't know. I was like a teenager when I was reading on this, but it's very much a like, whatever greeting, you know? It's just like, I don't know, there's nothing meaningful to it. Which makes sense. You wouldn't really want to have a meaningful conversation with a stranger, you know. It's a bit disappointing, but that's just kind of how the world is nowadays, you know. But yeah, I think that's good Bibble Babble talk. It's good to outline what it is, where to use it, and why it happened. Such. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a controversial topic. I don't really have anything to talk about, like on the mental or emotional side of things, at least for myself, which is kind of why I did an open podcast, is because I wanted to, uh, you know, see what everyone else was dealing with. You know, it's this podcast has become dry. It has become the well of emotions and struggles has become dry because I'm at a pretty good point in my life. You know, I think the only thing I could possibly add to it is that, uh, you know, my cats, I switched them to a different diet, and I kind of had a scare that like my male cat Zeke was going to develop a urinary tract infection, and it's quite scary, you know, because then they start pissing everywhere, right? And if you've ever had a cat and they peed somewhere where they weren't supposed to, you know it's over. It's over. If it was on carpet, you better get like the biggest, most expensive carpet cleaner. Even then, it might not come out, you know. Or you can, you know, if they pee on your shirt, it's in the trash. They pee on your blanket, it's in the trash. There's just no saving it, man. Like it's crazy how big cat pee is and how fucking rancid it is, right? But yeah, I switched them to a different diet. I was feeding them Meow Mix, which is pretty bad, but you know, when you don't have much income, it's basically all you can get, right? Um, but I gave them Meow Mix Indoor Advantage or whatever it's called. Uh, and it's the same brand. It's Meow Mix, right? But I don't know. He acted a little strange. I was like, this is uh, this is a little bit of an oddity, right? Um, I don't know. I just I don't have good memories of one of my cats had a UTI and it was just horrible. He was going into the vet like 24/7 to get a like catheter in and out, you know, and eventually they were like, well, the thing we could do is we could split his penis in half. And it's like, what? Sounds horrible. Eventually we had to put him down though, because he just kept getting urinary tract infections, and it was, you know, very sad and all that. I don't know. I always feel bad for animals, but not to the point like I don't know. My mom's been getting a lot of animals lately, and it's like, dude, you know, you can't fucking support most of these animals. What are you talking about? You know. And I know that lately her cat has been peeing on like a lot of stuff, and I don't know. It's just sad because you kind of get to know the animal. Like, oh, this animal's gonna be in my life for a long time, and then at least for her, she's been like through 5 different cats, and it's like, dude, when are you gonna fucking stop? Like, everyone's willing, you know, everyone is free to live how they want and all that, but it's just so, I don't know, gross and disgusting to see someone just get pets, like multiple pets all the time, and it's like, dude, can you just stop? Like, obviously, it's not working out. Maybe just stop. Maybe just like, I don't know, look at yourself and consider, should I get another cat? I'll have to get my mom on this podcast sometime, but I know that she can be quite a fireball of emotion. She's got bipolar symptoms and such, and I know that I could be all like, yeah, so why do you get so many animals? And then she'd get really defensive and just be like, well, my life, I'm a grown adult woman, you know. It's like, okay, that doesn't really answer my question, but I don't want to fight. Um, yeah, I don't know. When I was a kid, my mom would get like cats all the time, and I get it. Cats are great. I
Hello,
like them.
hello.
Hello? Oh, it's
Hello.
retro. Hello, retro.
How goes it? How's the podcast going so far?
I was going pretty good. I was talking about pets and animals. I was kind of just pulling stuff out of my ass because I was kind of running out of topics to talk about. But
Don't you know? Ass is stinky though.
that's true. That's true. I was just kind of running out of shit to bibble babble about. I explained bibble babbling, and then I was talking about cats and stuff. Then I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of running out here.
Cats are pretty neato. I had what was it? I had a couple different ones. They were both black cats.
Ooh, like cats.
Yeah, one was all black and the other was like, black with white. And he had like little sock paws because his paws were white.
Right, I get that. Pretty good. Like that.
Yeah,
Are you retro?
I've been doing pretty good. I would say generally this year has been pretty good so far. How
That's,
about yourself?
that's pretty good considering we're only 1 month in. It would be pretty bad if, we were already going down the shit drain.
Yeah, if I was already like, this is the fucking worst.
This year's horrible. It's worse than all the other 3 years previous combined.
Yeah, no, I think it's safe to say 2023 is going to be pretty hard to beat for worse.
Yeah. I can't. Is that where all of the drama started? I thought it was 2022, but maybe I'm just wrong on my calculation.
It might have been. It's been so long ago at this point that I don't even remember exactly when.
Same here. Like, I know it happened somewhere around Christmas time, but can't remember exactly. Was Yeah, I agree with that. Gonna
Probably around like late 2022 is my best estimate.
Yeah, I'd agree with. It's you know, I definitely think that it's been quite the journey. I would say, like, I don't know, it's been tough, but I think we're both in a lot better states of mind than when we first were.
Oh yeah, like I was in very much I'm trying to think of like what you call it. Like depressive state
Yeah,
for a period of
depressive,
time.
depressive episode.
It was longer than an episode, but yes,
Right, I get
it
you.
was probably a whole season.
How do you feel about you know if you looked back to old retro, like from a year ago, with all of his struggles, what would you probably say to him? If you
I, I'd say man up.
man up, pull yourself up by your
I
bootstraps.
I I kid though. I don't know what I would say. I'd be
Huh.
like, listen, just do your best. Try not to be mean to people.
Then he'd say, "Fuck you." No, but it's tough to like, you know. I guess the best you could do is kind of think about what has helped you so far. What do you view that has changed or helped you uh get over what was going on?
That's a good question. I don't think it's exclusively to one thing.
Right.
I think it's mix of different things. Like doing editing for videos is a very good time waster.
Yeah.
That's really the thing that's helped with it is been able to waste time on other things.
So I guess the all around best thing would be just time itself. That things will eventually get better because time kind of makes past issues fade away. Such.
Yeah, it never really fades away, but it's gone enough to where it's not affecting my everyday.
It's no longer on the stage. It's kind of off in the audience. It's still there, but not taking up the spotlight.
Exactly. Probably what's taking up the spotlight now is my obsession with a new style, or I guess not really new style, but a style that's kind of been getting popular recently.
A trendy style? What are you talking about, retro?
You ever heard of Fruitiger Arrow?
Oh, what?
Fruitiger Arrow.
No, I don't know what that is. What is that?
So, you know how like different decades have like their own definition of what the future is? Like, 70s is like Jetsons, for example.
Yeah, they're like flying cars.
Well, Fruitiger Arrow is kind of what people in the Y2K early 2000s sort of time period thought the future was going to look
What was
like
that?
a lot of glass and stuff. Let me see if I can find an image while I talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
it's like that like unique sort of imagery.
Right. It's got. I would have imagined people from Y2K would be like, oh, everything is gonna be an apocalypse because of the computers. The computers are about to send all the nukes everywhere.
Well, that was like post that.
Oh,
Maybe in 1999 they probably would have been like, yeah.
yeah.
Here you go. I'll send you an example on the chat.
Hold up on my. Or actually, I'll just the screen of the stream. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that stuff. I like that. So
This guy, you need to look to it.
you've been kind of getting into that kind of style.
Yeah, I found it really interesting because like I kind of recognize it from like when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because this aesthetic kind of lasted until somewhere in the 2010s probably. And then everything became corporate and bland.
Yeah. At least it was a semi corporate, brand. I'd argue that it's way worse. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Oh yeah.
I I really miss kind of like the creativity that everyone used to have when making things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, now it's just like remake, remake.
It's it's like it's not even with just video games itself. Like that is one of the most like at least from my perspective, that is something that I interact with on a daily basis that it's sad to see such creativity go down the drain, you know? Um it seems almost as if like I don't know, I guess back in the day back in my day that game developers could really try different things to kind of like test out different ways to do things, but nowadays you have to have like a game hitting kind of winner, you know?
Yeah, the uniqueness seems to be exclusive to indie games nowadays.
Yeah, indie games are really great. I think they're gonna be like, you know, probably not as great as I don't know. I was about to say not as great as AAA games, but those have been really shit lately, right?
Yeah, I feel like years later in the future, like indie games will age a lot better than games currently that are AAA.
Oh, absolutely. Like I know that Starfield, that Bethesda game, has been a whole heaping junk of garbage, even though it's supposed to be a AAA game and all that.
Yeah, more like double A.
Double A, baby. I don't know. I like
Just
indie
like
games.
the batteries. I think they're pretty good. I like that they're kind of going more towards because I was kind of getting sick of the whole 8-bit, 16-bit thing a lot of them were doing.
Oh my god, I agree with that. Like 200%.
I'm happy that they more often now you sort of see them do like PS1 style graphics, which I actually kind of like.
Yeah, I agree with. I like how it's kind of what is it? I don't know. There's like a big difference now that indie game has its own category, whereas I think like games that you would find on like IO Bit or all these other places are kind of just like fan games or something. Like I feel like that's a more
Right.
appropriate term. Indie
Yeah,
game
fan game sounds pretty correct.
Yeah, indie games are like I feel like they're games made by individuals that aren't exactly, shit quality, like they have a decent
Yeah.
amount of effort put into them most of the time.
Yeah, I saw one interesting one recently. It was have you ever heard of the indie game Scratch and Melody?
Oh yeah, I love those videos that I've seen of it so far.
Yeah, it seems like it's trying to emulate a Parappa a lot, I've noticed.
Yeah, I like it. Although, of course, I think there will never be a, you know, I don't think it can really replicate the feeling of Parappa the Rapper, but it is good though.
Oh yeah. It's a nice what would be a good comparison? It's a nice
Spin-off.
pullback in a sense. Yeah, spin-off.
Yeah. Kind of a spin-off. I'm trying to remember the word for it, but it
Oh,
is
spiritual successor, I think.
yeah, it's kind of a successor to it, or at least an attempt at it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Trying to think of what else, because I haven't really played a lot of indie games over the years. I can't think of ones that come to mind at the moment.
There's ukulele.
That one was okay. I didn't hate it, but
It wasn't
I
the
thought the
best.
levels were too big. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's you know, for me, it didn't feel too good to play.
I don't blame you. It had a lot of issues.
I think indie games are getting a lot better though. Like I think 2012 ish to 2015 was like a big spike for indie games, but a lot of them kind of just turned out to be trash, but
Yeah, it's the tragedy of it.
I think a lot more people are very, very much more attempting to put more effort into it. There's lots of spooky kind of indie games. There's like Lethal Company and Iron Lung and all these other games that are uh you know they have their own kind of goodness to them while also being indie.
Yeah. I like it when indie games try something different and don't do the same thing. Like you mentioned they were doing between what was it, 2012 to 2015.
Yeah, it I know a lot of them kind of go off of what's it, Kickstarter, and they just kind of use all that money. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I think it's called Frog Gun or something like that. That's pretty.
I I remember seeing something about that one.
Let me go see if. Yeah, Frog Gun is like kind of looks like your type of game, like a
I
platformer kind
probably
of thing.
enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's indie as
It's got
well.
those PS1 type graphics.
These one type graphics and all the good. I don't know. I like it.
It's definitely one I'll have to try when that ends up coming out.
Okay, let's get into a debate retro. Okay, ready to
All right,
get
I'm ready.
you ready to get serious, man? Listen, consoles and PC. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Okay,
Now, you make the first argument. I think I know what you're arguing for, but we'll see.
PC's better overall in every aspect. How do you feel about that?
I would say that. I would have said that at a point with my laptop,
Right?
but with how easily that just kind of broke, I feel like my almost 20-year-old PS2 still standing
Well,
is a lot more better than my 1-year-old computer that died in like a year.
well, let me let me proposition this to you. How do you even treat that laptop, huh? I know that. Listen, I don't want to spill all your secrets, but I know that there are some keys removed from that motherfucker. Okay, so I question
Listen, listen, the
how did
bitch
those
had to
keys get
come.
removed?
How to get removed?
Yeah,
That's a good question. You know those things you use to clip your nails?
yeah, toenail clippers.
I got the blade part out and I was like, shit, it keeps tapping on that key. I gotta stop it from like if it's gonna keep continuously tapping, I'll make sure it never taps it again.
Now, let me let me ask you this, okay? Did you eat food and then use the laptop without washing your hands or anything like that? There's got to be some reason why the keys became all sticky and shit, right? There's got to be.
I'm not too sure. You know, it was funny. I was talking to one kid. This is like back in high school when I first got it. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Watch out." You know, I had that same brand and the my laptop died within like a year or two. I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, that'll never happen to me."
Yeah, uh, it surely did happen like right away. Not right away, but I do remember like the first day you got it, you went to go download like a what was it? Some game, and
Yeah, it was probably like a ROM or something.
yeah, some kind of ROM game, and they're like, "Oh, here's a virus for your computer."
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted.
A retro. What would you say PC is better than consoles? If someone, say someone gave you a new computer, right? Even if it is just another laptop, but maybe a laptop that doesn't break right away, right? Would you reconsider?
I would if I had a working computer.
That's fair. I know that you know, didn't you say that if you were to get another one that you would want it to be a desktop because laptops are pretty shitty?
Yeah, it's kind of like the same issue you have with handhelds, where with the PC, if something messes up,
Yeah.
you usually can replace it, you know?
Yeah.
But with like a, you know, just like a handheld console with a laptop, you know, if the keys mess up and they keep getting pressed, you can't replace it.
Yeah. Or if you do want to replace it, it's gonna be really, really, really difficult.
Yeah, at that point, you're just better off getting a whole different one.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's you know, it's just kind of a shame that you no longer have that you know, laptop. I know that you still have I don't know if you still do have it. I know you talked about how your Peepop had a computer as well, like a desktop computer, but it's kind of old.
Oh yeah, it was really old. Like I think it was Windows XP.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
That's how far back it went.
Yeah, that's probably no good for emulating any kind of games.
Yeah, I think it's XP. It's the one that goes. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that might be it. I don't know. I'm not a computer person. I hate computers.
Oh, it might be able to run NES games, maybe, if I'm lucky.
You could play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game.
Well, I could. I hated that one as a kid.
Yeah, it's pretty shit. It's like, great, this isn't Turtles at all. What the fuck? You know?
Isn't Turtles for the hell's Crane?
I don't know. I think computers are really great, but it's a shame that they're not more available at like a cheaper price.
That's my big issue with it, because like with consoles, they cost a lot, but usually you're more guaranteed for it not to break. With the PC, that's more of a risk.
Yeah.
But sometimes a worthwhile risk.
I think as long as you're very, very careful with it, then you might be able to and be a-okay. But I know that even then, you could go on like a wrong website or just click a simple ad, and it's like, oh great, now all my software's all fucked up.
Yeah, now I gotta re-download everything.
Yeah, let me. I'll go look at Craigslist. We can see if they got any computers. I always just like to take a look to see what people are selling. Be like, oh, seems okay, but not really.
Ah, $1,000, not too shabby.
See, here's a computer build where I live, $250. Deal for a high
Too
quality
bad.
computer for parts. May need reformatting slash data unknown.
Damn.
Oh no, it's just the. Oh look, Chromebook. Only $20, baby. Hell yeah. I have more than
Oh yeah.
have more than 20 Chromebooks for parts or that needs to be formatted or hard reset recovery system. Motherfucker be like, I have all these Chromebooks. Have them.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
they're all completely useless, but have them. They might turn on.
Right? Computers. It makes sense that all this shit is kind of garbage.
I will agree though, like for newer games, I don't really bother playing much on the console.
Right?
Like the console's kind of more of I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like a to me it's like a niche, you know? Like I like it for the aesthetic of
Yeah.
like the older consoles
Yeah, I get what you. It's
or like playing games on an actual PS2. It's just the funnest, you know?
the funnest of the funnest. I don't know. I've never. Maybe you can help me understand that retro. Like, I don't understand why people keep old games, or I don't know. Why do people buy all the consoles and all the games, I understand emulation is illegal, right? But, why won't people just want to do that?
I'm probably not the best person to explain it because I got most of my games when I was a kid,
Right,
you know?
right,
And I just happen to be really good at holding on to them.
right. That's fair enough. But like, you know, I think I don't know. Maybe it would be best to ask someone else because I was gonna say, well, emulation is available and all that, but I know that for you, actually, no, that does make a little bit of sense because you can do it on your PS Vita, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like, if you are, if you have that ability to emulate onto your PS Vita or on a computer, right? It's why would you still keep some of the older stuff? No, I guess I don't know.
I guess it's for like a good example would be like for the manuals. I always like game manuals, you know. They
Yeah,
got like the colorfulest look to them, you know. They got all cool stuff to it.
you think it's
And
sorry? Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say it's just having like a physical copy is like a nice feeling, you know. It's
Right,
very much for the aesthetics though, I will admit.
right. I was gonna say like, is it kind of a wanting to preserve that way of life? I suppose. Like, I'll agree. It kind of sucks nowadays with how I don't know if you've seen it, but some game like what is it? Uh, is it just called a game? I forget what console people call it. Is it like when you get a game at the store? What's it called? I thought there was like a name for it.
Case?
Yeah, a case. There we go. Like when you get like a case at the store, you know, nowadays it doesn't even come with an actual disc. It comes with like a cardboard one or something like that. And it's like, go ahead and use this digital code to download your game.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
At that point, you might as well just download the game.
right. I'll see if I can go find an example of it. I know that newer games are kind of going in the way of that.
That's really rough.
I kind of wanted your opinion. Oh yeah, there it is. Fallout 76. It came with like a paper a paper disc inside of the fucking thing because I think as games get a lot more bigger, I'll see where I can share this to. But
You could share it in the chat thing.
yeah, you're right. Pop this baby, slam this picture in. There you go. But like, I think with how big games are getting, that it's kind of like you kind of need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that is really sad.
Yeah. It's
Jesus.
like to redeem your game code, go to this.
Go to Bethesda.net.
But hey, at least you get the manual, right? Woo.
That's probably not even a manual. It's probably like a slip of paper.
Oh yeah, more than likely.
And you know what's probably behind that slip of paper?
What?
A code.
The code. You want to download the manual? Go to this.
You want to use the digital only manual? Put
Oh
this
shit.
code in.
I think that's good. You know, that's great.
Yeah,
Um,
another thing I like to hold on to is like you know how like PS2 had online, right?
yeah,
For certain games they have like let me see if I can find them real quick so I can show them.
sure thing. I
Let's see.
I know that at least for me, I guess like I don't know. I had a PS2. I had a SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and all that, but like now that I can play it in a much better quality format, then why wouldn't I? Suppose.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's like the nice thing about emulation is like it preserves systems because one day, there's going to be no more of them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Oh,
kind of
here we go. I just found it now.
oh,
But I'll let you finish talking. I'm gonna take a picture of it.
all right. I was just gonna say that it's like I don't know. It's crazy to think that even now, like PlayStation 3 is almost fully emulated, you know? I don't know about Xbox 360. I know they're working on that. And
They're still working on the original Xbox.
yeah, and they're still doing the original Xbox, they're doing the Xbox 360, and most of the games nowadays, you know what? That's the really sad part about it. Like absolutely sad part is that um I'll make this quick because I saw that you uploaded. But um it's just sad that there are consoles that really you couldn't get the games on, you know, like a PC. Like if you were playing NES, good luck getting that on a PC. Some things had a port, but not a lot of them did. Especially for like PlayStation 2, original Xbox, maybe not original Xbox because that was kind of mixed in with PC and all that, but a lot of it,
Yeah, that had a lot of PC ports, I think, like Halo, for example.
yeah, absolutely. But things like PS2 or Nintendo consoles, good luck trying to get any of that on a PC, right? But now it's like most of the games you can just download. You don't need to really emulate them. You can just download them for the PC because they were ported.
And I mean, even then, like you literally have like emulators for current consoles.
Yeah, I think those will only be good for like exclusives that never got ported to anywhere else.
Yeah, like Mario.
Yeah, Mario that never got ported to any other console. Maybe Nintendo will be the only one that gets emulated in the future. We'll see those.
Nintendo seems to be the only one that really matters, in terms of that.
Yeah. Get connected to the world of PlayStation. Register all your games now.
Live in your world, play in ours.
Don't delay, register this game today.
Go to www.register.us.playstation.com. A lot of dots.
Let me go see if I can put that in. Register PlayStation.com.
And most people would like throw these out, but I was thinking, this is history. I think it's good to preserve it.
Right. I looked it up. There's no a website doesn't exist anymore.
I assumed it probably didn't, because this is from like 2004, this particular one.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you feel retro? Why do you I know that uh Sam, which is Ben's brother, is also kind of like that, but what's that instinct to like preserve history and all that? What I mean? Or
Um,
really be attached to history,
I'm not too sure. I guess I would say, I like to like hold on to things, that I don't think other people would hold on to, you know?
right?
Like, for example, I think I mentioned this a while ago, like when I got an N64,
Yeah,
a person of the previous owner's save files were still on there. And out of respect, I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna use the empty save file.
right. And for you, it feels like you're kind of preserving something that would not usually be preserved by other people.
Exactly. Like, I mean, if anybody got my PS2, they'd probably delete my save files
Yeah, I would.
for a new game.
I would.
But that's completely fair.
Is it like, are you kind of preserving it for, someone in the future? Are you preserving it for anyone in particular? Or is it just kind of your own thing where you're like, I gotta make sure that this is something that can be shared with others possibly,
This is kind of like a passion thing, like I think one day, like I don't know if I will, if I ever had like a family or something,
right?
that'd be something to pass down.
And are you gonna be like, now when I was a young man, I got this N64 and this person had a save file. Look at it. Look at their
Now
save
it's
file.
your safe.
Now you get to look at their save file. Don't ever delete this.
I'm like an old man, and I'm like, oh, back in my day, we had get connected to the world of PlayStation.
I never personally had to do it, but look, look at it. Look at this paper that says I
Look
had
at
to.
it.
I think that's fun. I
I mean,
guess,
I think it'll be something like a lot of people will want years in the future because of how unique the manuals are and stuff like that.
right? Do you think it's more of like you're holding on to it so one day you may be able to gain some kind of interest or some kind of value from it?
For some of them,
Right?
not all of them though, because I think a lot of the reason why I hold on to a lot of the games I have
Yeah.
is because like my nana, she bought them over the years.
So it's more of like an emotional attachment.
Yeah, it's kind of like the last thing I sort of have from that
Right,
time period in my life.
right. And it's something you want to keep safe and to, cherish.
Yeah, exactly. Like make sure the discs aren't scratched and all that stuff.
Gotcha. I guess that makes sense. It's very much it obviously meant something to you as a kid, and it still does now. Person themselves meant a whole lot to you, so a way to kind of preserve their memory.
Exactly. Like if I don't know, like say for Ratchet and Clank or something, right?
Yeah,
If I didn't really have any personal value from it, I would have just downloaded on an emulator or something.
yeah, that's fair enough. I guess, as long as you're also able to make strides in a new way, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the Vita is I've been able to, like you said, make strides with different games, you know?
Yeah, I like that. It's as long as people are not restricted by what they have in their life, then I'm perfectly fine and happy for them. I've just,
Yeah, plus PS2 itself has like a lot of different games that I own
oh,
that I have
absolutely.
yet to try.
Yeah. I just, I know a lot of people who will, you know, not try anything different or try and go in a new direction because they are holding on to, you know, some kind of past object or a belief, and it just kind of makes me sad, I guess. But I'm glad that you're at least going into new directions, see what you can do.
Yeah, like one game I was trying recently because I got Nintendo Online. I wanted to play with different streamer friends on Mario Kart and stuff.
Yeah,
So I've been playing like a lot of Switch games as of recently.
I think that's good. I think that's neat.
Yeah,
Never,
Switch is probably my favorite out of like the three main ones because it seems to have the most not garbage games.
yeah, it has some decent picks.
And to be fair, Nintendo's been really good in that regard for years.
Oh yeah, they always seem to make like some outstanding games that are always fun for everyone.
It may not be my favorite game, but it's always well liked by a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's probably why a lot of people are obsessed with them in their own regard. Imagine if you were a little retro again, and instead of being handed a Ratchet and Clank, you got handed a Mario game. Imagine how different life would be. You were a Nintendo boy instead of a Sony boy.
I can only imagine it's a universe where I'm like, hey, hey, Justy, you should try Super Mario Sunshine.
Or like of quoting Ratchet and Clank, you would quote Mario. He'd be like, "Oh, Mamma
Mamma Mia!
Mia!" And it's crazy.
Mamma Mia!
Le Mamma Mia, man, crazy.
That's
Always,
that's the real question. What would be the worst universe? Me being in the Ratchet or me being into the Mario?
I think the Mario, because at least with Ratchet, it's spread out. You can kind of get all kinds of different dialogue and stuff. With Mario, would just be like, you
Ooh,
you'd be doing that, and you'd be referencing like different items as items in you know the Mario universe.
be like, man, if I don't know, you'd be collecting like a life bar, and I'd be like, this is just like the mushroom from Super Mario Brothers.
Exactly. You'd be
Or
like,
whenever you get invincibility, I'd be like, man, that's just like the star.
I'd be like, oh yeah, this I've been playing this cool game lately, retro, where I can like do a double jump, and you're like, oh, did you know that if you do the double jump in Mario and you jump one more time, you can do a big jump? Like, shut the fuck up, retro. I'm gonna kill you, man.
I mean, to be fair, that's how you kind of were with when I was talking about Ratchet. Like, I remember one stream you did I joined where I was like, "Did you know Ratchet and Clank?"
Yeah.
And then I think you had to tell me, "Listen, please stop talking about Ratchet and Clank. Cease and desist."
Yeah, more than likely. I don't know. I
I'd
think
like to think I've gotten better at that, though.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you'll bring it up every now and then, but it's less forced. Very much a more natural way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the most I probably say is, "Oh yeah, I played Ratchet and Clank this week or something."
Yeah. Or I'll be talking about something that is, closely related to that. You'll be like, "Oh, that kind of reminds me of, this kind of mechanic in Ratchet and Clank." I
Yeah,
think
or
that's
like, this game reminds me of Crash Bandicoot. I said that for a lot of games.
yeah. I think that's fine. As long as it's not too obsessive. Like I know some people will just force whatever they like down your throat a lot of the time. A lot of autistic
Yeah.
people will do that.
Oh,
um,
you know, I just thought of a good example. The kind of fan I would be, if I was a Nintendo boy, I'd probably be like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory or something.
I'm more than likely. You'd be a fucking nerd.
Bazinga.
Bazinga. I don't know.
I never watched the show, but I just like that quote. Bazinga.
Bazinga. I like that as well. I think it's I don't ever remember watching it, but I've seen some clips of it on YouTube Shorts. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. I hate this. It's just one of those old shows that has a laugh track in it.
Yeah, I always hated how like shows had that.
Yeah, it's very much a forced way to make the audience laugh as well.
Oh well, since it's Valentine's Day, that reminded me of this one meme I saw with Sheldon that I thought was pretty good.
Ooh, let me see.
I think you'll like this one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Love is in the air. Wrong. Gas leak.
That's how he looks at you when he sees your gas leaking.
Gas leaking, and we all be tweaking. What do you have planned for Valentine's Day, huh, Retro?
Oh, that's a good question. Nothing.
Nothing? When are you gonna get a girlfriend? When are you gonna have a kid? Huh? Come on. Pull yourself up by your
Mm,
bootstraps, Retro.
probably not for a long time, if at all.
Right. I think
'Cause
that
I'm kind of squeamish about like sex.
yeah, I think that's fine. I think a lot of people are. It's it's very what is it? It's very sensitive, I suppose.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, quite sensitive in the know, nerve region as well as just a general thing to discuss and or do.
Yeah, that and like I don't know, for me I feel like it's like a waste of my time, you know?
Yeah. Would you ever consider just a romantic relationship?
That I wouldn't have a problem with really, but I've like I don't I've tried to like get into the dating pool,
Yeah.
but I've come to realize I hate a lot of people.
Retro hates
Like,
women. Oh my god.
no, not in general.
Right. Which
I
is like
just hate like the ones you find on dating sites. 'Cause like
they're
I was
snarky.
on this yeah, I was on this one and they're like, "Yeah, I'm having a bad day." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear. I hope you have a better day." And they're like, "You don't even care,"
Yeah,
or some shit. And I'm like, "Well, fuck you then."
I agree with that. It's tough to try and relate to other people anymore.
Then they're like, "Well, what would you do with a partner?" I'd be like, "I don't know."
I don't
Like,
know.
"Well, would you buy me stuff?" Blah blah blah, and then block.
Damn.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree with
Maybe
you.
I'm just really picky. I don't know.
I think it's always important to preserve oneself, you know? I think a relationship is a sacrifice. As shitty as that sounds, but it is true. You are no longer just yourself. You are, you know, you have to take care of yourself as well as someone else. And you have to kind of stretch yourself around them and all that.
Yeah, and you gotta work around their schedule and all that
Their
shit.
schedule, their likes, their dislikes. I think maybe that's a reason why there's not a whole lot of people in relationships nowadays. Very much, uh, everyone needs to take care of themselves, which I fully support.
Yeah, all the power to people to do that.
Yeah, deal with a relationship that's probably stink ass, poop ass.
Yeah, I mean, cause I get that feeling when I talk to people. I just like, oh, if I was in a relationship with that person, oh my god, that would suck.
Yeah,
I'd want to
right,
kill myself.
right. You slowly, you're like, man, I can really talk to these people, let alone be in a relationship with any of them.
Yeah, that makes me wonder if it's like a me problem or if like people in the dating pool are just really bad in general.
It might be a both issue, It might be like you have to kind of be more open to change from someone else, as well as just people are. It's like everyone has the same issue. You know what I mean? Like everyone's the same piece of puzzle, and no one fits into each other that easily anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the wrong puzzle pieces trying to connect.
Right. Like imagine, how you feel. Maybe that's how someone else feels. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't mind dating, but they kind of see everyone else, and maybe they even see you as like people that are like, ugh, I can really stand talking to this person. Why would I ever want to date him?
The weird thing too is like I don't even know if like I really care for romance that much because I don't know. Whenever I see other people doing it, kind of you know,
Makes you sick. You're like, ugh, gross,
too much affection.
right? Maybe that's the underlying issue is affection itself.
And again, I think a lot of it is also like a me thing, you know.
Yeah. Maybe it's you know, like trying to think about it. If you feel this way towards people who are just your friends, then maybe it truly is something deeper within you that's affecting that kind of outlook.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be. I guess it's just some people are just built different in that regard.
You're wrong. You're built wrong.
So I'm built different.
You're built different. You're
So
wrong. You're built wrong. Oh, but I think that's perfectly fine. You know, much
you
like
know, what's the
myself.
worst thing though I got like when it came to the dating pool.
What?
I had somebody ask me, "What's your star sign?"
Eh,
I'm like, I don't fucking know. I didn't say it that way. I wasn't mean. I was just like, I don't know.
then what are you, fucking retard? I hope you fucking die and get AIDS. Kill yourself, loser.
I just know mine's the was it the centaur guy or something?
Yeah. I don't think there's a centaur. I think
It's the man on the horse or whatever.
maybe there is a centaur. I don't know. Sagittarius, I
I
think.
don't I don't yeah, I don't know, I never really cared for that kind of stuff. I keep like getting shit in my feed where it's like, this is your sign that blah blah blah.
Kind of garbage. Sounds.
I keep getting it on my freaking feed and I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah, I understand that. It's same with me getting car insurance ads, so I don't have a car.
But don't you want insurance for something you don't own? Come
Oh,
on now.
I can't wait to be insured for garbage, trash. Thank you. I don't know. Well, I hope Valentine's Day will be good for you regardless. Hopefully, no one gets too kissy up in your face and then makes you feel gross and all that.
Yeah, yeah, but I'll probably be fine on Valentine's Day. I'll probably just enjoy it, treat myself.
Yeah, just enjoy it how you would your way.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a. I don't want to sound like a narcissist, but sometimes it can just be a love yourself kind of day, you know?
I think those are the most important kinds of days, How can anyone expect to love another person if they can't love themselves,
Yeah, and that's a problem I've had for a good long while until I think I've gotten better at it over the last year.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's all about self improvement before you can offer yourself to someone else. I think that's
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
I think that's how everyone should be really, but I don't think a lot of people understand that. I don't know. I've seen a lot of shitty relationships lately. And it's like I don't know. I don't understand why people were so into getting into a relationship if they're already fucked up themselves.
Because they want to meet somebody else that's fucked up, obviously.
Obviously, why why settle for one fucked up mental or emotional state when you can have two of them?
Yeah, it's like, oh, really good example is my mother. She has schizophrenia. I think I mentioned this before on podcasts.
Oh yeah.
But she when she had my half brother, the guy she was dating, she met him in like the mental place she was in.
That's
So
pretty
I mean, what a place for sparks to fly, right?
that's a pretty classy place, I'd imagine.
Yeah, a nice place to meet, somebody who's seeing things, hearing things.
Yeah. At least it's somewhat relatable. They always say to go to some place that you find as a hobby or as an interest in order to find someone you like. So, you know, they were in like a common place.
True that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think love is love is difficult, but it's cool that some people can be into it, I suppose.
What would you say your thoughts on love are since you asked me?
I think love is retarded.
That's a completely fair opinion.
I think I don't know. I can understand love like and this is just in general as well. It's not even like one on one, it could be love for a pet, it could be love for a person, but it's very very stupid. It's very illogical, I suppose. But I suppose it's fine.
I
It's
guess it like I guess maybe it's not love would be the best word. I think it's care, would probably be a better term.
care.
Yeah, like you care about somebody.
I think it's important to care about a lot of things in your life, but I think some people go a little bit ham with it. Like, I get people love or care for their pets, but do you have to buy them their own like car seat and their own fucking jacket and maybe,
Giving
you
them
know,
a purse,
their own purse, their own macchiato coffee or whatever? It's like, I don't know. It just sometimes it can be a little disgusting that way. Like I'm almost like you in a similar fashion, which is that too much affection is disgusting, but at least for me it's very particular. It's very like if it doesn't make like too much sense, why would you do this? You know?
yeah, it's like you said, you think it's kind of illogical, right?
Yeah, like I'm perfectly fine with, you know, I'm willing to just chalk up the whole relationship between two people as whatever. That's it's a very emotional, feely thing. There's not a whole lot of logical things that are happening in that kind of area, right? I'm willing to accept that. But when it comes to other things like, you know, oh, I love this, you know, animal so freaking much that I gotta treat it like it's a human. I don't know. It's I think I'm getting more into like me just not liking people who treat their animals like they're more than animals.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of fair. I'd say I'm probably somewhere in the middle when it comes to that. Like, you gotta treat your animals right, of course, but
Yeah.
like you said, you don't wanna go too crazy with it.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I've seen people who are like, "Oh, I gotta bring my dog into Walmart because it's my care dog." And it's like I don't know. It's I'm gonna go a little extreme here, okay, Retro? So be prepared for some crazy talk. But it's almost like how there are some women who will make false rape allegations, right? Just
Uh-huh.
to like get out of, feeling some kind of embarrassment from hooking up with someone or because they dislike someone. And it kind of just takes away from actual rape cases, you know? So if someone's like, oh, I need this dog in here because it helps me. I feel like it takes away from people who actually need, some kind of pet with them, like someone who is blind or someone who has, I don't know, extreme anxiety in public places or something like that, you know?
Oh, what's the term? It's like you ruined it for everyone else kinda thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. It's, I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever been diagnosed with like a disease or have you ever come down with an illness or something like that, right? And
I've had
maybe
COVID.
yeah. Have you ever gotten COVID, right? And, you know, like someone lists off the examples or the symptoms of it rather, and then someone else is like, "Oh, maybe I have that," right? Even though they haven't been diagnosed or anything like that, but they're like, "Oh, that sounds like what I might have."
Yeah, I get that feeling with, like, OCD, you know?
Yeah, right?
Like, everybody thinks OCD is just, "Oh, I'm so OCD," I like to rearrange stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, no, you don't have OCD more than likely. So why are you fucking going around saying that you have this and trying to get like sympathy points for it or something like that, or trying to get a certain special treatment? You know, you don't have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that I do because, like, my thoughts, are obsessive and I have, like, a lot of compulsions.
And you've been diagnosed, right?
I've been diagnosed officially. I talked to, my psychiatrist about it, and they said, "Yeah, it sounds like you have it."
Yeah. You see, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's just I don't like people who, you know, kind of they don't have any issues wrong with them, but they will try and take advantage of that, you know, that ability. You know?
Like, it's almost like a personality to them.
It's yeah, it's kind of like that, or it's just like they see the benefits of doing it. So like if people who actually need their pets go into a store with them, right? And they're only allowed to do it because they have actual issues with them, then everyone else is like, "Oh, well maybe if I can fake being ill or be like that, then I can bring my pet in the store, you know?" And it's I don't know. Just it gets to me. It's kind of like a fat person using a mobility scooter in a store, and it's like, why don't you save that for like someone who has no leg or fucking some old person who has issues walking.
Oh, yeah, you know what that reminded me of? It's a little off topic,
Yeah,
but I saw this one video where, like, this really fat guy, right,
yeah.
like, super obese was getting, like, moved around, like, he was getting carried on, like, a hospital chair, and after, like, 2 seconds of them moving it, he's like, "Stop, stop, I can't take it."
Wait, what?
And he started crying.
Why?
I gotta find that video again. You can talk about Sun while I do that.
All right. Uh, yeah. I don't know. It just makes me like, I don't know, not really upset, but it's just like, man, that kind of sucks. It's why would someone want to do that? Like, not even. I don't know. I can understand if someone did it for like money or something that's like an actual gain to them. But are you saying like can't fucking leave your pet out in the car for like a couple minutes? Are you sure that you can't walk around? You know, if you're at the point where you can't even walk by yourself and you're that obese, then what the fuck's wrong with you? You know, maybe you fucking cut back finally. I don't know. I don't know. There has to be some kind of wake up call for people.
Yeah, because it's crazy how like fat some of these people can get.
Exactly. Like, and this is coming from a fat person himself. Like, I recognize that I need to lose weight, but at least I'm not at the point where I'm, having to fucking breathe heavy as I walk or, oh man, I just can't fucking walk around the store to get my groceries. It's, it's,
Or for that one guy's case, he can't even get pushed on a wheelchair without feeling pain, apparently.
yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. Once it becomes an issue for everyone else, then someone should probably solve it. You know? It's like, uh, I don't know, mental and emotional issues as well. Like I know that some people need the support of others, which makes sense, but like, you know, eventually you need to solve it. Get it done and figured out with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the weird thing about it.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Are you still looking for it?
Yeah, I'm still scrolling down. I don't think I can find it. So.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word that that guy was being pushed in a wheelchair and started crying because he's like, "Oh, I can't take it."
Yeah, he was like throwing a hissy fit.
Sounds like some TV kind of stuff,
Let me do one more search. Batman throws a hissy fit. Maybe that'll find it.
It's a fit. Mhm. Oh, but yeah.
You mentioned that you would say you're pretty fat.
Oh yeah. I'm obese, morbidly obese. What is it? 300 pounds, something like that. That's
Damn.
yeah. And I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think that like I suppose this is how much heavier people feel, but they like I don't feel like anything's really wrong with me. Like I know it is wrong to be this fat, morbidly obese, but like you know, I don't have any struggles with anything like that. I don't have struggles putting on my clothes or like I don't need any external like kind of assistance with anything, and I don't feel like I struggle with anything either. But um, it's just crazy, and it's not even like yeah, I'm okay with this or whatever. I'm attempting to get skinnier, but I eat healthier. I work out. Doesn't really seem to do anything. It's probably because I snack a lot, but even
Yeah,
then,
that's usually how it goes.
too many, too much input, not enough output, I suppose. But
Yeah, like I tried to get into like, exercising and shit, and I couldn't.
right,
Too much work.
too much effort, too much work. I think that's
And even then, like I'm not really all that fat anyways, so
yeah.
at least for me, I'm not really too worried about that.
Got that normal metabolism.
Well,
I
all my fat goes to my belly.
oh, you got that beer belly syndrome.
Yeah, I got exactly that. I don't even drink beer.
Maybe you're just cursed.
Might be.
But yeah, I think I like being a big strong man though. Good, maybe morbidly obese, but I at least feel decent. You know, not like what is it? Not like I got mega fat hips and thighs and big flabby arms and stuff like that. I don't know. I've always been like this, so I suppose I don't know what it's like to be anything else.
That's fair. I sometimes people are like just born with like different body types in general.
Yeah, I think everyone has the possibility to lose weight, kind of shape their body, but I think everyone has a certain preset. I mean, like when you're generating a character RPG, as like a
Yeah, they got the default settings.
yeah, I just kind of wind it up with a big, stocky kind of body.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there is something wrong.
There's something wrong with that.
There you go. It's
Yeah, I saved it.
saved it. Oh hell yeah! Finally get to see fat man crying. A JPEG. Oh,
Oh no, I didn't mean that. I meant like I saved it because I was like, oh wait a minute, that's bad.
oh, that's true.
I couldn't find it sadly.
God damn it, retro. I was counting on that. How am I going to post this episode of the podcast now? Son of a bitch.
Oh, I guess you'll just have to use what you got.
Guess I'll just have to use us discussing video games and relationships and such. But I
Yeah, I
think,
mean we got some interesting conversations today, I'd say.
yeah, I think this was a good podcast. I'm glad that someone joined this podcast. I was kind of starting to feel like, oh man, no one's gonna join it. This is gonna look awkward.
Gonna feel awkward because you won't find out what to talk about.
Right? It's, I don't know. Let me go see how many people reacted to the fucking podcast peep roll. Let me just go take a quick little gander, a quick little look see, if you will. It's like, I think 4 or 5 people at the very least who have reacted to that roll, and it's like, no one fucking shows up besides you and Zerbra, which I appreciate that. But it's like, well,
Cerberus pretty cool.
there's 9 people, or I guess 8 because one of
Damn.
them is a fucking bot, but 8 fucking people were like, oh yeah, I'm a podcast peep. You know, I don't know. That's big stinker.
More like a podcast P.
Or like podcast fucking penises. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of this podcast. Is there anything you'd like to, you know, talk about or discuss or maybe wrap up with? It's up to you.
Uh, I think I've talked about all I could talk about today.
Alrighty. Well, I greatly appreciate you being on the podcast. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. Good.
Yeah, glad to be on it.
All right. Thank you. And thanks for everyone listening. It's great to always have someone watching this, someone commenting on it. But I love you all. Toodaloo and bye bye.